the first thing we heard was the screaming. Not from people, from the sky. It sounded like the clouds were ripping apart. Thunder crashed so loud the windows shook, and the rain slammed against the school roof like a million tiny fists. Our teacher, Mrs. Evans, told us to stay calm, but her hands were shaking too. Then the sirens started. Real ones. The kind you hear in movies when something bad is about to happen. Except this wasn't a movie. This was real life, and it was happening to us, right in our little town of Riverside. Mrs. Evans told us to get under our desks, and we did, but it didn't help much when the wind hit. I swear the whole school groaned like a giant waking up angry. Pieces of the ceiling cracked. The lights flickered. My best friend, Eli, grabbed my hand and whispered, "Is this the end?" I wanted to tell him no. I wanted to be brave. But when the roof started peeling off, and the rain poured in like a waterfall, I didn't feel brave. I felt tiny. I felt forgotten. We all did. That night, after the storm ended, the town didn't look the same. Houses were crushed. Trees lay across roads like broken toys. The church where we went every Sunday, gone. Only the stone steps and the cross on top of the hill were still there, crooked but standing. People were crying in the streets. Some just sat on the ground, staring at what used to be their homes. The smell of wet dirt and something burning filled the air. I heard adults asking questions no kid ever wants to hear. Where was God? Why would he let this happen? Did he leave us? At first, I didn't believe them. I mean, God's supposed to be everywhere, right? Watching over us, keeping us safe. But when I saw Mr. and Mrs. Carter digging through the rubble of their house, looking for their dog, I started wondering too. It wasn't just the storm, either. Weeks before, Miss Laura down the street lost her job. Then there was the weird flu that made half our school stay home. It was like bad things just kept piling up like a tower ready to fall. Sunday morning came, and even though the church was gone, Pastor Jim set up a tent on the hill. He said he was still gonna preach, storm or no storm. Only about 20 people showed up, and they didn't look very hopeful. I didn't feel hopeful either. I felt hollow. Pastor Jim stood under that little tent, rain dripping down his nose, Bible pages flapping in the wind. He started talking about Job, you know, the guy in the Bible who lost everything but still trusted God. But it was hard to listen when I could see the faces around me. People weren't buying it. Some even turned and walked away. That's when something strange happened. Out of nowhere, a guy nobody knew walked up the hill. He wore a red jacket that was way too small for him and muddy boots. His hair stuck out in crazy directions, like he hadn't brushed it in days. He looked like he didn't belong. At first, everyone stared at him like he was lost. Maybe he was, but then he said something that changed everything. "Y'all waiting for God to show up?" he asked, his voice loud and clear. "Maybe he's already here. Maybe he's waiting on you." Nobody spoke. You could only hear the wind and the raindrops. He pointed at the smashed houses below. "You think this storm broke you?" "Nah. Storms don't break what's real. Storms show you what's real." Pastor Jim looked shocked. Mrs. Evans clutched her purse like she thought he might steal it. A few people rolled their eyes and muttered, "Crazy." But something in my chest shifted. The man smiled, not a mean smile, not a fake one, a real, tired, gentle smile. Then he did the weirdest thing yet. He picked up a hammer and some nails. Nobody even saw where he got them from, and started building, right there on the muddy hill, by himself. No blueprint, no help, just building. At first, people laughed. Then Eli nudged me. "Should we?" He didn't finish, but I knew what he meant. We grabbed some broken wood from the wreckage of the old church and carried it up the hill. It was heavy. Mud splashed everywhere. I slipped once and almost twisted my ankle, but Eli caught me. Mrs. Evans came next, then Pastor Jim. Then, one by one, others too. We didn't even know what we were building. A church, a shelter, a monument. It didn't matter. We were doing it together. By sunset, our hands were blistered and our clothes were soaked. But standing there, covered in dirt and rain, I didn't feel forgotten anymore. I felt alive. I felt strong. The man in the red jacket stood back, wiped sweat off his forehead, and grinned. God never left. He's in the building. He's in the trying. He's in the falling down and getting back up. Before anyone could thank him, he tipped his cap and disappeared down the road. No one knew his name. No one saw where he went. But there, on that hill, a new place stood. Crooked and rough, but real. Stronger than anything a storm could destroy. That night, as the stars came out, Pastor Jim pulled out his Bible again. This time with a different look on his face. He didn't talk about loss. He talked about starting again. He said sometimes, when it feels like God isn't answering, it's not because he's gone. It's because he's letting us become the answer. Thank you for sticking with this story. It truly means more than you know. If this touched you in any way, please like, subscribe, and stay connected. There's so much more ahead, and trust me, you don't want to miss it.